YouTube page. I'm Dr. Andrew Kinak, and today we are going over a hip mobility series. We're going to start on the floor with our 90-90s. So we're going to be seated on our butt. Front leg is going to be going 90-degree, knee forward, shin at 90 degrees to the knee. Same thing with the back leg. From here, we're going to try and sit up nice and tall. We're going to try and roll over to the other side. And again, sit nice and tall, trying to keep this butt as low to the ground as we can as we sit in this position. Coming back the other way, we're going to try and bring this knee down to the floor as far as we can to keep ourselves in this upright position. As it gets easier, it's going to feel like you can rock back and forth like this without having any pain or feeling of falling backwards or falling forwards when you get into these positions. Next, we're going to be going into what's called the world's greatest stretch. So what we're going to be doing is standing on a mat or on a comfy floor. We're going to be stepping out as far as we can into our lunge position with one leg forward, dropping the knee down to the floor. We're going to try and reach our hands down to the floor here. We're going to be pressing back up off of that back knee. Now we want to try and open chest to the front knee, reaching the hands as far as we can to the ceiling, stabilizing with that lower hand and feeling it all on the back of the shoulder here. From here, dropping the hand back down. We can either press back or we can walk our foot back and coming back up depending on where you're at with your mobility. Same thing other side, so now stepping out with the right leg, dropping that left knee down to the floor, hands down, pressing that knee off the back floor, reaching up and opening yourself to the knee, reaching your hand as far as you can to the ceiling, feeling that T-spine rotation and a stretch all the way across the front glute here. Coming back down, dropping and kicking that knee out, walking the hands back up back up to standing. Repeat that for 5 reps on each side. Next, we're going to be doing what I like to call the Frogger stretch. So we're going to be on our hands and knees. We're going to try and get knees as wide as we can and trying to keep our heels in line with our knees. In this position, you're going to be bracing yourself with your hands forward and trying to push your hips back as far as they can. As you start to get into your maximum range going backwards, trying to fall onto the forearms and bring that chest as low as we can to the floor. From here, we might be able to push back a little bit further, or we might be able to rock in and out, keeping this dynamic. Depending on where your mobility is at, will dictate how far you can go down to the floor, as well as how long you can stay in this position. Ideally, we want to be in this for 30 seconds, rocking back and forth, but if we can't, doing 10 seconds at a time and working our way up to that full 30 is going to be beneficial for you. Next, we're going to be doing what I call an active hip flexor stretch. All you need for this one is either a rolly chair. I have a stool here. You can use an office chair at home or anything that slides on the floor, nice and easy. Or if you don't have a chair or anything that rolls, you can use a slider on the floor, a towel on hardwood, or a paper plate on carpet. So I'm going to demonstrate to you on how to use it on a stool. What we're going to do is we're going to place our shin of the working leg right on the stool, so that way the toes are hanging off of the end of the stool. From here, we're going to be in the standing position. I'm going to be pushing back, engaging the back glute here, pushing that as far back as I can, trying to keep shoulders over hips. You should feel a big stretch in that front psoas. As you hold that position, back off of it a little bit, and then pressing back into it, keeping it dynamic. Trying to hold this one for about 10 seconds, and then pulling it back in. Pushing back out again, feeling that big squeeze back here, feeling that length all the way through into the stomach from the top of the hip and the thigh, and then relaxing and switching sides here. Same thing again, we're just going to be engaging that core, staying up nice and tall, pushing that butt back, or that leg back by engaging that glute, holding it for a few seconds, and then coming back. Pushing it back again, holding it here for 3 to 5 seconds, 5 to 10 if you can, and then pulling it back. Second to last one here, we're going to be on our groin stretches here. I call these ones groin rockers. We're going to be down on the ground again in a half kneeling position, one leg kicked out to the side, foot flat on the floor, or you can go big toe and heel down on the floor. From here, we're going to be placing our hands in front of us again, kind of similar to that Frogger position, and then we're going to be rocking our butt back to the leg that's bent. We're going to feel a big stretch through the front of the groin here, and then coming off of it. Hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, rocking back for 5 reps. Same thing, other side, so dropping that knee, kicking this one out to the side here as well. Again, trying to push your butt back as far as you can, holding this position straight, feeling that big stretch through the groin, not feeling any pinching in the top of the hip here. Again, rocking back and forth as we are doing this, making sure that we feel that stretch through the groin and holding it for that 3 to 5 seconds. Last hip mobility drill here is going to be our foot elevated internal rotations. For this one, I like to use a foam roller between the knees and feet up on a wall. So finding some space in your house where you can do this, finding something that you can squeeze between your knees. We're going to be pressing the foam roller into our knees, and then we're going to make sure that our knees are 90 degrees from our hips. So we might have to scooch to the wall a little bit closer to get that position. From here, activate by squeezing into that foam roller and trying to kick the heel away from your body. Rocking back and forth, trying not to twist at the torso, just in this hip here to get that foot out to the side. Holding for 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly pulling that back in under control, always squeezing the foam roller here with your knees. Going to the other side now. Again, feeling that activation. You should feel it right at the top of the hip where your pocket is on your shorts or pants. Holding that again at the end range for 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly coming back for 5 reps. Thank you for following along to our hip mobility today. Hopefully your hips feel a little bit looser and your low back pain starts to go away.